We have been hearing a lot of things around this space, a lot of noise, I would argue, right? And it really goes back to the whole Bitcoin and Ethereum maximalist, sort of idea. Like, oh, there's nothing better than Bitcoin. There's nothing better than Ethereum. We've been hearing a lot of noise around this, and the noise has been so loud to the point where like Brad Garlinghouse, David Schwartz, and a ton of additional individuals from this space. We're talking about validators on the XRP ledger, developers on the XRP ledger. Everyone is now getting so fed up to the point where like this is becoming such a huge deal. But remember, this is all noise. And Brad Garlinghouse did shut down the whole, maximalism sort of mentality. We're going to talk about this, but we have a lot more to address in this video because we got some confirmation from Ripple on what's happening this year and what we should be looking forward to as well. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's dive on in and let's start off with Brad's message to all of those Bitcoin and Ethereum maxis out there. We have some thoughts on maximalism. Let me say this as clearly as I can. The crypto industry has a real shot here and now to achieve the many goals we have in common if we work together instead of tearing each other down. This is not and never will be a zero-sum game. I own XRP, Bitcoin, and ETH, among a handful of others. We live in a multi-chain world, and I've advocated for a level playing field instead of one token versus another. If a government digital asset reserve is created, I believe it should be representative of the industry, not just one token, whether it be Bitcoin, XRP, or anything else. Maximalism remains the enemy of crypto progress. I completely agree. And I'm very glad to see fewer and fewer folks ascribe to this outdated and misinformed thinking. And listen, when we think about what's going on here, he is 100% correct. Like when we think about this whole like, oh, hey, it's Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin. There's no second best. You got to hold Bitcoin. It's only Bitcoin. Like it's just ridiculous. Okay. Number one, let's just be honest here. You don't have to be a genius to understand that Bitcoin's, time to make you rich is over. Unless you already have a massive amount of money, Bitcoin is not a great ROI vehicle. It's just not. Okay? Market cap well over 2 trillion. Could it 10x from here to 20 trillion? Sure. But if Bitcoin did a 10x to $20 trillion, XRP would probably do well over a 20 plus X. Majority of the altcoins in this space will probably do well over a 50 to 100x plus gain. And I'm being very conservative, by the way, with these additional gains. We don't know how much, again, these gains are very conservative on a lot of altcoins because we know that altcoins will severely outperform Bitcoin. It's just facts, right? Which is always why I've said it's not like we shouldn't be just looking at this space and saying, oh, well, it's all about Bitcoin, right? Because at some point in time, okay, utility will be the main driver of value. And I hate to break it to everyone out there that believes in Bitcoin, but Bitcoin has absolutely zero utility. We could sit around and kick the can down the road and say, oh, well, it's a store of value. It's a store of value. It's a volatile asset that loses, 70 to 80% of value every 4 years. I mean, that just doesn't sound like a, solid store of value. And don't get me wrong, I get it, right? Bitcoin has gone up since inception, every single cycle. But at the end of the day, a store of value like gold, because we look at gold, a lot of people confuse the fact that gold, although yes, it is a store of value, it also has a ton of utility tied to it as well. Graphics processor chips have gold in them. Even a lot of CPUs now use gold. Quantum computing is mainly utilizing gold. You have, so much out there that includes gold in it. What does Bitcoin, have similar to that? What's using Bitcoin today? We constantly hear the whole idea of buy and hold Bitcoin, buy and hold Bitcoin. Holding Bitcoin is just not, it's not enough. Okay. So again, we look at this space from a utility perspective and we know things are going to change. But outside of this, talking about change, we are starting to see some very big moves being made.
We have Scott Bessent's confirmation as United States Secretary of the Treasury highlights President Trump's dedication to restoring economic strength and stability. America is back. Now, this was one individual that we were focused on because he is also very pro-crypto. We have over here from Brad Garlinghouse, congrats to the newly confirmed Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He'll be an incredible leader for Americans. I'm confident he'll enact common sense economic policies working with the administration and Congress to grow U.S. tech and crypto innovation. And yes, because remember, this Congress now is very pro-crypto. And when we think about this, it's opening the door for utility to become the next big thing, which is why I've always said, stop looking at this space from a Bitcoin perspective. Look at it from a utility perspective. It's just facts that Bitcoin is not going to tokenize much, if not anything, right? On top of that, Bitcoin is not going to be utilized for financial transactions. That's the number one reason why we hear a lot of these Bitcoin maxis say buy and hold it, because the more people that buy and hold it, the less supply out there, which means that Bitcoin's price could fluctuate very fast to the upside or even the downside, depending on, if somebody's going to be buying it or selling it. So when we think about that, right, buying and holding is just a made up thing so that they can provide you with this, idea that it's going to go up forever and it's always going to be this great store of value when, this market is still in a hype and speculative area. We don't know what Bitcoin's going to be in 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Will it be around? It definitely will be. But is it going to be one of those things like, BlackBerry, for an example, or AOL or MySpace? Like, we've seen these things come and go in time. It's tech. So again, that's why when we start to see these moves being made, we definitely focus on the big picture here, which is utility. Outside of this, we also have from Cynthia Loomis, the digital asset dream team. Let's get to work. And here we have Senate Banking Subcommittee on Digital Assets. And we can see all of the individuals here, right? All of these individuals, for the most part, are very, very pro crypto. They're pro tech. They're pro, innovation. And I'm actually very excited to see what happens because, if we start to see some very big moves and if we start to see things get taken very serious around crypto, because I do think that now is the best time. There's not going to be a better time to be very bullish on, crypto on every single level here in terms of the governmental level, right? Because now we're starting to see the race being put on. We're starting to see the pressure being put on as well, from China. So now is the best time to start moving forward on, work around crypto. And, Brad Garlinghouse has been very vocal about what he expects going into 2025 and, going forward. He said that with the largest capital markets finally embracing crypto, and talk of crypto strategic reserves, and I suspect rather imminent U.S. regulatory clarity, a step function change in adoption is closer than you think. Now, I've mentioned this in multiple videos, and if we go back a little bit to January 5th, remember that Brad said that they have signed more U.S. deals in the last 6 months, in the last 6 weeks of 2024 since the election than the previous 6 months. Now, we didn't know what this pertain to. We didn't know what deals that they were signing, but we just got a little bit of intel from Ripple themselves. And we have 2025 kicks off with big wins for crypto in the US and Ripple's growth. New money transmitter licenses in New York and Texas, new customers onboarded and ramping up hiring across the US. Guys, let's look at this. We have crypto momentum in the US. What's next for Ripple payments? If we look at this, we have the turn of the year signifies motivated new beginnings, and Ripple has hit the ground running in 2025 with multiple advances to its cross-border payment solution. Additionally, industry players across the U.S. are enthusiastic about what the next 4 years has in store as a progressive crypto administration takes office. Financial institutions that are eager to stay ahead of the curve are moving to capitalize on crypto, both to diversify portfolios and to optimize efficiency through blockchain solutions. Crypto-enabled cross-border payments is one use case that has proven valuable to global finance leaders, more than 90% of which believe blockchain and digital assets will have a massive or significant impact on finance in the next 3 years. This is 90% of global finance leaders that believe this. Ripple, the leading provider of digital asset infrastructure for financial institutions, has recently secured key money transmitter licenses in New York and Texas, two states where Ripple has seen strong demand for real-time global payments from both banks and crypto businesses, bringing the total to more than 50 MTLs. Texas and New York have defined regulations and stringent licensing requirements with robust compliance standards and regulatory oversight. With more than 60 licenses globally, Ripple can offer customers access to a seamless, compliant-first global payment experience that leverages the superior capabilities of digital assets. MTLs allow Ripple Payments customers to access a licensed version of the cross-border payment solution in the US, where transactions are managed end-to-end by Ripple on behalf of the customer. And by the way, we have here that for years, Ripple has been working diligently to secure global licenses. If we look at this, right, we have that New York BIT license, New York Limited Purpose Trust Company Charter, 55 plus MTLs across Ripple's payments, custody, and stablecoin business, a major payment institution license from the Monetary Authority of Singapore, a virtual asset service provider registration with the Central Bank of Ireland, a virtual asset service provider registration with the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority, and then also in principle license approval from the DFSA. So if we think about this, right, Ripple is becoming a major key player that is fully compliant, fully regulated. I mean, this is very significant. We also have additionally, customers can access Ripple's global payments network through a single integration where streamlined onboarding offers the agility and speed necessary to keep up with the rapidly evolving payments market. Last year saw banks lose a small but noteworthy share of the cross-border payments market to new players, indicating a trend that will likely drive banks to rethink strategies to stay competitive. We are continuing to see more interest from financial institutions to crypto businesses that want to unlock the benefits of crypto and blockchain for faster, cost-efficient, and 24/7 cross-border payments. With years of experience working in both crypto and the financial institutions, Ripple is well-positioned to support companies who are ready to take advantage of the current landscape. Ripple Payments has served $70 billion in payments volume with around-the-clock availability and global network coverage to over 90-plus markets, representing more than 90% of the daily FX markets. Last year, Ripple's payments business doubled, and a number of new North American customers were added to the network, including Bancoli, Cambio Real, GeoSwift, Agility FX, Cloud Payments, which, by the way, Cloud Payments, big one, Atlantic Exchange, and then also Zilmoney. Demand for digital asset capabilities has grown alongside greater adoption of stablecoins for payments, including RLUSD, an enterprise-grade USD-denominated stablecoin created with trust, utility, and compliance at its core. RLUSD will be integrated into Ripple Payments later this year. Digital asset regulation in the U.S. is rapidly shifting. Just last week, the SEC rescinded SAB 121 for crypto assets, which would have imposed prohibitive requirements on banks offering digital asset custody services. Congress had previously voted to overturn SAB 121 last year with bipartisan support. A growing number of U.S. policymakers and regulators are recognizing the importance of digital asset innovation, signaling a confidence in the realized and potential benefits at both the consumer and industry level. As such, real-world digital asset use cases are moving to the foreground, and institutions are taking action on their crypto strategies. The financial sector is trending increasingly digital as technologies like blockchain and AI envelop existing services and open doors to new use cases like RWA tokenization, which can afford greater utility, liquidity, and accessibility of financial instruments, which is like stocks, bonds, ETFs, etc. And then, of course, Ripple is continuing to expand its U.S. footprint by investing in domestic talent. 75% of open positions are based in the U.S., and domestic hiring has doubled compared to 2023. Just last year, Ripple opened new, larger offices in San Francisco and New York, signaling positive business momentum in the U.S. The coming years will likely be monumental for the crypto industry, with many optimistic that political bodies and financial institutions alike will glean the benefits of blockchain through public-private collaboration, continued education, and tangible results driven by real-world applications of the technology. So, listen, we're expecting a much bigger, push on crypto, and the years are only going to get bigger and bigger for crypto. Even Monica Long did say, to recap, and she mentioned the big ones that we talked about, right? I've never felt more optimistic about the future of crypto and Ripple. This is President at Ripple, Monica Long, telling you that she hasn't felt more optimistic at all about the future of crypto and Ripple than now. We are in the beginning stages of a massive, massive move on crypto. And we're not talking about price action here. We're talking about everything around crypto. This entire space is now evolving in a big way. This is why the whole maximalism sort of idea
and the perspective is just flawed. We need to focus on utility now because this is the best time to have a plan in action. That way, we know what we're going to be doing going forward. We know how big this space will grow. We know how big these companies like Ripple are now becoming, and they are pioneering blockchain use cases like RWA tokenization. When you look at this, right, it's all centered around the XRP ledger with XRP. We are witnessing the major moves being made, and it's very exciting to finally see this happen. I do think that the next cycle around crypto is going to be a utility cycle, and from that point on, well, I'm just going to say it. We have no idea where this space is headed. All I know is that it's going to be in the tens of trillions of dollars, especially once we do start to see that snowball effect moving on chain through tokenization. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because I'm more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.